Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we are going to find out what the went down at Apple's WWDC 2025. It's so exciting. Oh, hello, welcome to the show. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. Wow, what an amazing day it's been. I can't believe what's happened. Apple have come out and just blown us all away with some things that go on your iPhone, your iPad. It was an hour and 45 minutes of wankers standing around thinking they're funny and entertaining. Could you imagine putting a whole bunch of nerds on a fucking comedy stage? Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh. Anyway, let's get down to the important stuff. If you've come here for a serious, in-depth review of WDC, well, you are at the wrong place. You're probably going to want to wait till after this show when I dump you over to Pete Johns, because there's not going to be a lot of seriousness here. Anyway, I watched it live. I got up early. I was taking screenshots because I'm super excited to find out all the new things. And, we get some new things. We sure did. Let's say hello to all. We'll jump in and find out exactly what we got. Jim Shannon, the real Justine Kasprick, Thomas Christ, hello. Leela, she's on the edge of her seat. Everybody's so excited. Thomas is frothing at the mouth. I can see him just frothing. Everybody's frothing. We all just need to know what is going to be on our iPhone for next year, if we can. Hey, because, things are so good at the moment. Everybody can afford a brand new iPhone at this point. Thanks, Tim Apple, for siding with the current administration. Go against everything that you stand for. Anyway, Denise, hello. It was a strange event, let me tell you. It was even stranger than normal. Normally I watch it and go, wow, what a joke this is. But it was even more of a joke, man, because just look at the state of this guy. There he is. There's Tim Apple right there. Hugh, g'day. If I've missed anyone, Jamie Lynn, hello. Triggered, I just upgraded to iOS 26. Well, isn't that awesome? Everybody, welcome, Triggered. Enjoy the bugs. Anyway, let's get into it. So Tim Cook came out. Look at him there. Every year his legs get more bow-legged. Look at that. Look how more bow-legged his knees are and raggedy. And one day he's going to have a robot body. In fact, I think he does have a robot body. And look, he bought out his best turkey neck for it. He arrived and he slapped on his best turkey neck. And, he's got his little rainbow there in the background to tell everybody, remember, everybody, I'm gay, yet I sold all gay people up the river to Donald Trump. And there he is with his little gay rainbow. And, what a legend. He's just awesome, isn't he? And so I got up and I watched this live, and I took photos of all the exciting stuff. So let's go through all the exciting stuff now. We're going to cap off with all the exciting stuff, the most important stuff. And you guessed it, folks, our first spot in the wild of 3/4 pants and boat shoes. And this lovely lady who's, look at those pastels. She really got into it. She really made sure for this episode she had the boat shoes ready. There we go. You're missing out on the full boat shoe effect there, aren't you guys? Look at that. Look at that. Absolute stunning boat shoes. And I don't know who she is. I don't care. she doesn't have any of the prowess of what old WWDC used to be. And then we got, oh. I don't even know what to say about this photo. But whatever, he was talking about something, but I was just so sidetracked by this stunning jacket and emaciated. Somebody send this guy some food. Anyway, whoever he is, he looks really into it. And, of course, even though there's dark colours in there, pastels were all the rage this year. And speaking of pastels, man, can it get any more? Look at this. Who are these people? I agree. I think they're AI. I remember when you used to have like Johnny Ive and all these people, they'd come out and you'd be like, wow, that guy is like an engineer and he knows what he's talking about. And now we've got silly Sally in a sensational seasonal fucking blancmange. Who are you? Oh, well, the cavalcade of nobodies just keep coming, don't they? And what an announcement this was. I can't even remember what it was. But, you know, the one thing is they all look like they're doing pretty good financially. You know, where the rest of us, I don't know, things are going up and iPhone's probably going to go up as well, another $100. But you know what? I'm sure they'll be able to afford it. So that's all cool. And then we got this guy. I can't remember if I've seen him before because these days everybody is an NPC at Apple. And nobody has, who is he? Well, he's got a watch on. I think he was talking about a watch. And there's this young lady with lots of people working out there at the Apple place. And this guy, oh man, the pastel, it's just horrific, isn't it? It's Justin Washington. He's the product manager of Apple TV. And doesn't he look like the dock of Mac OS? He does. He's like the living embodiment of the dock of Mac OS. There he is. And then we got some more comedy. And let me tell you, folks, was I frothing for this? Look at this. If you're getting the idea here, you'll have to go back and watch it. But very funny stuff here. We had this guy driving around in a car that wasn't very fast, but he thought he was driving really fast, and that was the joke. But this cyclist was going past him, and oh boy, we chuckled. We sat around, we laughed, and who knew that geeks can tell jokes as well? Yep. Who? Yep. Another NPC. Haley Allen rolled up. She did us proud. She got the 3/4 boat pants out. But she skipped on the boat shoes. Maybe they are boat shoes. I don't know. But she looks important. There's a lot of... You know what I noticed about this? There's a lot of space at the Apple office. There's a lot of room there to move around. What do you think they do with all that space? Like, look at all the space. It's just amazing. Oh, and then she came out with... I need to say this. There's some really good pockets on her jeans. Really, you could fit a lot of stuff. You could probably fit the mid-range iPhone in there. You know, how dare you? How dare you, Jim Shannon? How dare you point the finger at our dear friends at Apple and suggest that they were standing in front of a green screen and these people aren't real? Clearly, Tim Cook is very real because look, by the end of the show, he was so excited, his legs bowed out by another 3 inches. And there he is, just to wrap it all up and say, hey, everybody, I'm gay. And that's the end. And what a great show it was. And apparently they announced some stuff for iPhone and iPad. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was more interested in what they were wearing with fashions on the field. And what a great year. Well, that's it. That's what they announced. They all came out. They wore some really boring, gaudy clothes. Nobody was memorable. They chatted a lot of shit about stuff we probably don't really need and it's not really going to make a difference to our lives because they've run out of ideas. But the one thing they did mention that I need to talk about, Ed Zielinski and Tremor Bear, The one thing they did talk about was very important was the assistant that comes with the iPhone. Now, if you've ever had an iOS device, you'll know when you hold down the little button, there's this little assistant that pops up. I can't say her name because if I say her name, all of your devices will go off. But she's been with the iPhone, this little assistant that starts with S, since the iPhone 4S. That is when the existence of the Apple Assistant, I can't say her name, became available on iPhone. And let me just say, there was a huge section on the personal assistant that can, in fact, no, there wasn't. Guess what? They avoided it completely. They never mentioned her once. You know why? Because they fucked up so bad. They fucked up so monumentally, they don't know how to get out of this. They promised that their assistant would do all this shit last year, which it had no way of doing. And this year, they tried to blindside everybody with a whole bunch of shit that nobody needs. This is what went down. And they didn't even address it once. The richest company in the world sat down and didn't have the balls to confront their fuck up. And instead, you know what they're going to do? They're going to increase the prices on iOS devices later this year when they drop. So it was an absolute smokescreen of an event covering up the fact that they don't know what they're doing with the personal assistant on the iPhone because it is shit. In fact, they doubled down so hard, they have put ChatGPT in more apps than ever before. So now they're just going to give up with Siri, I do believe. Sorry if I have triggered your phones there and sent it off, but the personal assistant got no love and, yeah, they just gave up on it. But let's talk about the things that they did mention because iOS skipped a few numbers. That is the big takeaway, really, of anything, and is now iOS, macOS, iPadOS, watchOS, visionOS 26. So they jumped from 19, 18 is the current iOS that we are on, and they jumped all the way to 26. We talked about this yesterday on the show that they were going to do this. It makes sense. It's not anything I can sit there and take the piss out of because really it makes sense. Why not just make it each year's iOS instead of these ludicrous numbers that nothing makes sense? And hopefully this is going to lead to somewhere further on down the year in spring for here in Australia, fall for you in the rest of the world, that when they do announce these new iOS devices, hopefully they call them the iPhone 26 or iPad Pro 26 or whatever, and just give them the number. Just make everything make sense. Yeah, because the problem has been since Tim Cook took over, in my opinion, remember, these are just my opinions, and I'm just being a smartass for most of this stuff, because, look, I've been using Apple devices since the first iPhone. My house is full of Apple devices. I'm obviously a fan. I dig the stuff, but at the same time, you can't get to the point where you just lick their ass for anything they do. They've got to be held accountable, yeah? This is a major company that is like the Ferrari of phones, of the Ferrari of computers. That's the way they market themselves. So if you're going to market yourself, you just can't be Donald Trump and just like ignore shit, and like when people go, hey, you're a liar, just get away with it and just like send the police to kill people or anything like that. You should take some kind of accountability and be transparent. And they're not. They're not. They've always been a very secretive company, but this time around, I don't know, it just seems especially disingenuous of what is going on. They send these puppets out to tell us everything's okay, but it's like, you know what? You could have been spending a lot more time on other features other than this Apple Intelligence, because nobody's using it, yeah? And here's the thing. The iPad, and the reason this show came about is to make music. Like, I love making music on iOS devices, yeah? That's the thing. That's what we're here for. I've got an iPad right here in front of me. We've got iPhones coming up the wazoo. There's even one sitting here. One here, one here. There's two in my room. I have so many of these devices. So I'm already a believer. I'm a believer in the product, and I want the product to get better. And, yeah. I don't know if that's really happening. So apart from the numbers that we got, let's run through some things, shall we? So what we'll do is talk about iOS first. That's how they started. And their new gimmick is, oh, man, liquid glass. And it's really, listen, when you talk about a retina display, right, it makes sense because, yes, it's a piece of glass, the way the display works, and it has a whole lot of pixels and it does all this great stuff. And it's a beautiful, if you've held some of the latest iOS devices, the screens are beautiful and there's no way you can sit there and ever say that screen is ugly and all this stuff. What we have right now is absolutely unbelievable. Now, this whole new thing that they've put out there, and they do love this marketing bullshit of liquid glass. It's not liquid glass, it's transparent. That's what it is. It's just a transparency and you can see what's moving underneath it. This is not new. I've seen this on other things, but they're acting like it's fucking, they've just found the Ark of the Covenant and it's the greatest thing of all time. It's a transparency, my friends. Suck it up. It's not like fucking worth another $100 on top of a device. I mean, this is the thing. This is all great and all this stuff, but this is all going to go into new devices. And what is going to be the plan for new devices? How much more money are people going to spend? Because at the moment, believe it or not, the world is kind of struggling financially. Yeah, there's a whole lot of uncertainty in the world, and Apple's shares are tumbling because of the people they backed in the election. They made their choice. They fucked up, and everybody's suffering, including them apparently. So let's run through. So liquid glass is this beautiful thing, and I'm not going to lie, the lock screen looks really cool. This is possibly the best lock screen we're ever going to have on iOS. I can't. Again, these things, where do you go next? We are at this point with phones and everything that where can we push technology to? At the moment, AI is flying. It's moving so fast and phones have stagnated. They have just stopped. Features have come and gone and these things do just amazing tasks for us already. So where do you go from here? And it's a very interesting question because Apple obviously are feeling it. I think all phone companies are feeling it. Like, where do we go? What's the next step? How do we get market share back? Because we're at the point where people aren't buying phones every year now. Unless you're some kind of tech pundit or wanker who needs to have the latest thing, then, that's the thing. You've got the money to spend that, but increasingly people are going to have less and less money to buy these things. All right, so the design here, they're saying a whole new element of delight. And yes, transparent icons. They have a new icon system. So remember, this show is more for developers. They released a whole bunch of SDKs and new formats for developers to know how to make these new tiles, these new app icons, because everything's new and they've got this the shading you can see here behind. So with everything, all these new liquid glass improvements, you can see what's going on behind. Now, I saw some images where it didn't look so good. In the Files app, it looked shithouse. Oh man, I should find that clip. It looked really bad with the writing going underneath this clear. Let me find it. I'm going to come back over here for a second. They're not pricing themselves out of the market. They're still in the market. They're still leading. It's just people don't have the money. That is what's going to happen. We're heading to a global recession, and it's probably not the best time to increase prices. Just let me see if I can find this, because it did stand out to me when they got to the Files app. And I'll see if I can find the exact picture. Here we are, iPad OS, Files. I've just had to mute it because I don't want to get a claim on this video. So let's bring this up. So here's the Files app. And when they did this transparency, folders, you can add icons, you can change the colors of folders now on iPad and Mac. But let's just let this little section play through here. Now look at that, right? So here we go. Look at that. I think that looks ugly as fuck. There's shit behind here. You can see the icons. I think it looks ugly as fuck. I think it's terrible. I think it's, it works on so many other things, but it's not going to work on everything. This is the thing. And Apple do like to get very excited about shit that really isn't that important, do they? I'm more interested about how I'm more interested that the thing's going to work. I'm more interested about battery life. All this stuff is going to waste battery. So, yeah, they didn't show anything, Leela, with a black background. So, who knows? But apparently the beta has dropped today anyway, so people will be jumping in. And as we always say, if you are running a main device that is important, has music on it that you're working on. Now, there are a lot of people who are in this community who buy every app under the sun and make no music. So it's not probably going to affect them because they just buy apps anyway and never make any fucking music. But in this case, you can download at your own risk. But if you're putting it on your daily driver, remember, it's going to be full of bugs. And the public beta won't be announced, won't be available till July. If you want to jump on, if you've got a spare phone, have a fuck around with it. You know what I mean? Give me a sec. Okay, so fresh new design. Let's come back over here. More vibrant lock screen. Now, the lock screen was very interesting, yeah? So when you add a photo, see how this photo here has this child here. As you get notifications down here, the actual photo moves up and the time gets smaller. It was very clever. That's very clever. Really cool. Like that, the lock screen looks very cool and you can add your own photos and add a 3D effect so it looks like they're popping out. Probably the best lock screen I've ever seen. Dynamic navigation controls. So we've kind of seen this already, this similar stuff with the island and the way that works. And there's a lot of aesthetics being taken from the Vision system, yeah? So there's a lot of stuff that has been taken now. Look at this. Pay attention to this. Remember the Photos app from iOS 18, how everybody lost their ever-loving fucking minds because they changed it too much? Well, they now have this little thing down the bottom with library and collections. That's all it took. That's all it took. My complaint with Apple, right? One of my complaints, especially when they're showcasing photos, yeah, it really pisses me off that they show all these photos that are like, I've just got back from the moon. You know, look at all the photos. I've been to Milan, and every photo is like fucking some unreachable destination that costs millions of dollars to get there because the staff who work at Apple are on a, you would expect, a pretty good wage so they can go and do all that stuff, right? And then when you see in these demos their photos, and then you look at my photos and you go, fuck, my life sucks. Fucking, what's wrong with my life? Why does my life not have anything cool? Why is this in my photo album? What is going on? Could you imagine if I was doing the Apple event? Okay, this would be my Apple event. Check out this video.
Nice talking to you, that. Really nice. Nice talking to you, that. Really nice.
All right. Pretty nice sausage, that. Does anyone think so? It's pretty nice. That's my life, man. My life's nothing like Apple developers. Oh, it sucks. I'm so jealous. Kind of wrong. Kind of wrong. What the fuck is going on? I would hate to see very wrong. Wow. It just, yeah, anyway, all their photos look so good. That's the point I'm making. And look what they did to the Photos app. Look at this. They botched it last time. Look at it. It's a mess. It looks like a GeoCities website from 1996. Look at it. Look at the state of it. So hopefully that little button they've added down there has sorted everything out and people don't get too lost. Must be about the other one doesn't have a shit ton of photos. You know, I've got so many photos, but none of them are exhilarating or exciting. Everybody, Costa's checking in from Roxburgh Park, everybody. If you want to go and murder him, he's at Roxburgh Park today, if anyone cares. Where are you going to wait for them? I'm joking, Costa. I'm jealous because everybody has an Android phone. I'm stuck on an iPhone. Well, don't worry because they'll keep Apple will keep adding Android stuff because that's what they've been doing for the last 5 years. Moby Pixel, what's going on? Crow and Bling Bling Cole, hello. All right, should I get back to talking shit about this non-event that went down? It was a non-event. There's one good thing. One good thing for an hour and 40 minutes. This is cool. I like this. Live translation. So they added live translation into text messages. You can even do it in FaceTime. So you can actually say something and it'll get live translated in multiple languages. Very, very cool technology. Not anything new, is it? Because you can get this kind of stuff. Yeah. There's nothing new. Visual intelligence, right? So you can take a screenshot and then it'll tell you. So you can take a screenshot of this really attractive mushroom lamp and it hopefully won't take you to xhamster.com or donaldtrump.com because it does surprisingly look a lot like, you know what I mean? Do you remember that woman who said that Donald Trump looked like that? An orange glass mushroom lamp. Do you reckon Apple put this in here as a as a payout to Donald Trump? Because that's orange glass mushroom. I reckon they did it on purpose. I reckon Tim Cook was like, you know what? We gave you money, dude. And, dude, you crashed the stock market. I think we're going to have to put an orange mushroom lamp in the keynote and see how we go. So, yeah, basically you can take a screenshot and it'll tell you where you can buy this orange dick, whatever it is. ChatGPT, you can actually use emojis now, the make the emojis with ChatGPT. So why would you bother using the Apple onboard stuff for Genmoji? I mean, to me, and remember, guys, this is just an opinion. If you want some serious stuff, Pete Johns is up next. He's a lot more serious than me, but still funny. He'll still be funny because Pete's a funny guy. But they really have given up, haven't they? They're basically just gone, you know, we dropped the ball. Apple Intelligence sucks. Nobody uses it. And we're just going to integrate ChatGPT into this further. Just do it. Just, you know what? Here's the thing. You can't do everything, right? You can't. Not everyone can do everything that other people can do. And that's okay. You don't need to be the best at everything. And ChatGPT are ahead of the game. So why not just fucking integrate them in? You know, just throw it in. Exactly, Moby Pixel, ChatGPT and Xcode. Let's go. You got the money, pay the license. Let's go. Let's bin Siri. You know what? If you can't get the S word, if you can't get her off the ground, you can't do all these things, pay the fucking license. Integrate a new assistant. We have been waiting for the S word to work for how many years? iPhone 4S. How many years? And listen, I use ChatGPT on my phone all the time and have some of the best conversations that I've ever had with my ex-wife. Anyway, that's another story, but it's true. But ChatGPT is really conversational and really agreeable and actually does do a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah? Siri is just awful. Sorry for I've set her off everywhere. Look at her go. Hey, see? This sucks, man. That stuff sucks. ChatGPT is great. I use it way more than I'd ever use her. So yeah, here we are. They've just given up here. It looks like they've added these emojis. Bang, bosh, bush. Compare notes, text transcription. Remember, a lot of this stuff that we're covering here, just talking about, is in nearly everything they dropped because everything's unified these days. Pete Johns is up here. I'm not mad. God, I'm not mad. This is what we do, Laurie. Every time there's an Apple event, a lot of people get very serious and I get very stupid. Because I can't help it, because I want to take the piss. Anyway, another winning thing I've got to admit, love it, love it, love it. This, I want to know how it works. This manage unwanted calls, call screening. So the way they showed it on the demo was somebody calls you it recognizes that it's an unknown number that it doesn't know, and it could be a possible scam, and it answers the phone for you to see who it is, and then if it's a scam, it will hang it up and blacklist it, but if it's not a scam, it will then ring again so you can pick it up and the phone will tell you that it's not a scam. I don't know how that's going to work, but very, very cool if it actually pays off. So, but again, has this been done before? Oh, see. There's nothing new under the sun these days, folks, and it just is what it is. We are at, as I said in the beginning, we are at the point where we have exhausted nearly everything. The phones are unbelievable. I would have, again, there was a year, how many years ago, maybe people remember, it was a few years ago, where Apple just decided we're not going to release any big features or anything, and they actually went back and tried to fix a whole lot of problems. And that year, boy, were there a lot of fucking crybabies. But I want something new to keep me occupied because I'm fucking numpty. They fixed all the bugs, man. And, well, they tried. I really wish, I hope that they've done a lot of that in a lot of this, and it's not just a paint job, because there's still a lot of problems, man. Still a lot of problems. Anyway, screen new senders. Approve unknown numbers with new screening tools that detect spam and give you control over who appears in your conversations and messages. So it just removes, if you've got junk messages, like spam messages, it'll just remove them out by doing this filtering thing. So you can just remove them, get rid of spam stuff. Dangerous as well too, because you're putting your calls and stuff in the hands of Apple. So you've got this let phone app wait on hold for you. So if you go on hold, Apple the phone can detect the hold music, and it will offer you like this: would you like to go on hold? And you hit hold, and it kind of hangs up in a sense and keeps you in the queue, and then it will call you back once somebody answers the phone. It's an okay system. I know there are companies that already do this kind of thing, so I don't know if it works. It works. Hey, this one got me very excited. Polls in messages. Because you know what? When I'm messaging my favorite group with Russ and Brad and everything, and for the 5th time we've called each other an absolute total or we've said that you're a wit. Who knew that we could run a poll now and then decide, is Brad really a wit? So we've got polls in messages. I don't know. Boring. I like this. We can add a background to the conversation. Fuck me. Facebook's been doing that forever. None of these are new things. It's quite boring. What else have we got here? Maps. Visited places. So basically they've said that don't worry, we're going to be storing every single place that you go into our very safe chip. And nobody will ever get that information, we promise. Even though we helped vote in the Gestapo. Maps understands your preferred routes, stuff like that. All right. I'm not going to lie. This one, and this isn't even here. In the music app, and this isn't it, but we've got auto mix and lyrics translation. Auto mix and lyrics translation, right? But this is nothing. Guys, in Apple Music now is a new karaoke feature. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually excited about this. I think this is fun. Karaoke, right? But this works on Apple TV. So not up to Apple TV yet. This is the Apple Music on Apple TV. If you set it all up, you load up your songs, and you know how a lot of songs these days have karaoke lyrics, which you can do through DistroKid. Okay? distrokid.com/VIP/Jade 7% off your first year. You can do karaoke, right? And if you've got friends over and you've all got iPhones, it's a very particular thing. You've got to hope they've all got iPhones. So only invite your friends over that have iPhones. Anyone else, get rid of them. Fucking losers. You can, Mark, bonjour. So basically how it works, you sit there in front of the TV OS, you got Apple TV on, you got your music, you got your friends, all in pastel, and their boat shorts and their fucking boat shoes, and we've all got our phones, and you can sing together and do karaoke, and you can, with your phone, choose the next song, and then you're ready, and you're sitting there in the lounge room singing into your phone. Who knew, huh? Who knew that we were going to get that? That's just awesome. I think it's fun. I think it is fun. Now, I think the worst bit is now I'm going to have to get some friends. But anyway, so there's that, and they've added new stuff for the wallet as well. So even store even more in your wallet. So now, if you're in the US, a lot of the stuff more applies to the US. You can actually, I love this too. It said you can add your passport to the wallet, but it's only for show. So why bother? No, that's not completely true. You can use it at TSA checkpoints. But only domestically, so you can't use it overseas. So what's the fucking point of putting the fucking anyway? Whatever. Oh, this is going to fail huge. There's a new games app, so it's fuck, man. They've tried this shit before. They've tried it before. It hasn't worked. There's a new games app. It has like a who cares? Boring shit that's been done before. This is just rehashed shit. So. So there's iOS, Mac OS, so it's freshly, look at it, everything looks the same. The highlights, let's get the highlights here, and the lowlights. So yes, it's got this liquid glass. Yes, folks, it's actually liquid and it's glass. It's like liquid metal from Terminator, but it's nicer. It doesn't kill you. It's wonderful. I tell you what they didn't announce, the one thing I asked for at the end of the show yesterday, the ability to remove my own battery and replace it at my own will once it gets down below 80%, which most batteries that decharge, when they're at 80%, there's still a little bit more life in them. It's normally when they get to about 30% that there's problems. But Apple, no, 80%, it's the end of the battery's life. Because that makes sense, doesn't it? I'm being such a bitch today, and I don't care because this stuff's boring. Look at this now with live activities and awesome. Oh yeah, they added some actions in Spotlight. Wow, this is very, very interesting. They added the shortcuts thing to. I think shortcuts has been on Mac for a long time. But they've put AI in it because, why not? Let's just put, you know what? Fuck this. I want AI in my toilet paper. I'm sick of wiping my own ass each day. I want AI to do it for me. Can we sort that, Apple? Wow. AI, everything. You've got widgets now. Look, they're see-through. Sorry, liquid glass. Delightful new design, same stuff, personalized menu bars. They got rid of the black line at the top up here. And this is what they said. I swear to God, this is what they said in the video with the menu bar. We've removed the black line, so now there's more space for you to do things. What? This much space? What the fuck? Well... Wow, I may as well just fucking move there and build a house on it. There's so much space. Like, that's it. Anyway, it's funny the things that they get excited about. Refresh apps. Oh, so they've worked heavily on the multitasking. Bro. So apparently they've fixed the multitasking in 2025. Just let that sink in. Oh, hang on. There's something else they've added here. Cut, copy, paste. Oh. Oh, man. Cut, copy, paste. If only. So as you can see here, the same stuff. Mac OS has all the same stuff. Live translation. You've got Accelerate Your Workflows with the Shortcuts app. You've got ChatGPT making photos. Live activities, stuff you've got in your phone. Screening. You've got a phone app now. You can make phone calls on your Mac. All that stuff. It's basically the continuation of the iOSification of Mac OSification. That's where we're at. We're so close to everything being exactly the same. It's ridiculous. And I still don't know how I feel about it. Like, I have a Mac Mini over here, and I don't know. When I got it, I expected my Mac Mini to be like the more powerful computer that I go to. There's the thing over there that has the more in-depth stuff I can do, but more and more that thing is just becoming my iPad. So it's funny when people sit there and shout shit at you and go, but why do you use an iPad? You should just use a Mac. It's like, have you seen the state of the Mac? It's a fucking iPad. I'm sorry if that upsets you, but that's where we've gone. Hello, Chad Freeman. So yeah, there we go. Smart stuff, faster way to browse, search for apps. iPad OS. Let's see what. Remember, this is iPad 26 now. We've skipped a few numbers. Again, iPad OS gets the liquid glass treatment. Amazing stuff. And here we go. Exciting stuff. When I saw this, I was like, holy shit, they've fixed the windowing system for multitasking. I was like, wow. But have they? It just seems the same. It seems like now you can actually shape your windows into whatever size you want. Because remember, with this thing, what have we got now? How do you activate this shit? Is it this? No, that's screen mirroring. There we go. It's this thing here. Yeah. So now how we've got this thing in the corner that we can change the size. So basically, it looks like the windows now that you can add over like this. You can, I don't actually know what the difference is because I seem to be able to do all this shit already and drag shit over here. It looks like oh yeah, so I can shrink it. So with Stage Manager, I don't know. Yeah, thanks. I can flick all that back over there. I don't even use Stage Manager. So, but this is the thing, Ed. Of course, not all apps will support windowing features because they can't. Some apps just can't do it, and it's not built into them. So, I don't know. Yeah, new intuitive window system gives you more power and flexibility. Great. You can now put folders in the dock. So this is nice. So what you can basically do with your Files app, check this out. Obviously, I can't do it now. So you could come over here to your Files app, open something like this, go to here, and I could grab this Downloads folder, and I'll be able to drag it down onto my dock. That's basically what you can do. And then what happens is when you open the dock, you get this fanned out thing like you do on Mac OS. That's pretty cool. If you're working on an art project, yeah, and you've got all your photos in a folder ready to go and you need to access them, I can see how that'd be useful. But hey, who's that organized? I'll tell you who's that organized. I'll bet this bitch is that organized, right? Look at her. She's that organized. The MPC, she's organized as fuck, right? And she would do that. Would I do that? No. I'd be all over the place and just like photos everywhere. But she would be exactly like that. She looks like the type. In fact, I'll bet she made that feature. And I'll bet she's using it every day. And everybody she tells to use it just goes, fuck off. Anyway. So I'm just going to say it. Unnecessary. They've added a preview app to iPad so you can preview all your PDFs. Sorry, excuse me while I just scream for a minute. Okay. Why would I need another app to do that? We've been here before, Apple. You think we forget? We've been here. We've had like a photo kind of app thing that you open just to view things. The preview app. Why would I need a fucking preview app? I've got a fucking photo app. Oh, man, this is so dumb. Dumb shit. Really. Oh, yeah. Could you fix that personal assistant? Oh, I don't want to say her name. I wouldn't want to do that. Communication across languages with live translation. It's all fancy and that. Great, but there's a preview app. I can preview things. Fuck off. So the liquid glass, the lock screen, new controls, more elegant apps. Wow. More powerful windowing, window tiling. The window tiling is pretty cool. New ways to control windows. So they've added these new little controls up here. So you can do like 4-corner windows. Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Expose. So switch to the window you need. So that was cool. You can actually notice this. See now, when you have this window view, you've got this, which is very Mac OS. And if you hit the X button, it will put the tile, it will just remove the app. And then if you click the app tile again, it will open back up where it is. So these are new. This is very Mac OS here on the iPad. Cover by CQ. Hello. Expose, the menu bar. We've got a menu bar. So you will find this. There's now menu bars on iPad OS. So they're trying to get rid of the pop-ups that still kind of land in the middle. So that's decent. Like, I like that. Anything that makes sense, but there's a lot of stuff in here that just doesn't. Folders in dock, a supercharged app, so you can add little photos and pictures to your coloured folders now. So I guess that's okay. Preview. There's the preview app. I can't wait for the preview app. Just think about this too. And here we go. How much space is all this new stuff going to take up in iOS 26? Because you know what? Not everyone's got the fucking money to afford a fucking lot of room. Is this stuff necessary? You know, background tasks. So when you're downloading stuff, you get these little downloading tasks. You're going to get those. That's really cool. I'm so excited about all this shit. Is this the worst review that you've ever seen? Live translation, XLS. We've already seen all this shit. So the rest of the stuff isn't really that interesting. Look, tvOS isn't even here. They haven't even put it in this list. That's how much they give a fuck. They did talk a lot about tvOS and TV shows that they've got. And, that's cool. It's one thing that I did kind of want to challenge and put out there. They said that Apple TV is the #1 streaming service in the world at the moment. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's not. I'm telling you, it's fucking not. And obviously they would get to that conclusion by some specific statistic that in some demographic makes it that. Yeah? Oh, I'm saving it to last, Pete. That's it. That is the only moment worth anything. So the watch, remember, not all this stuff has been announced yet either. There's going to be other things because they can't. All right. They've got to have a justification to add for the new devices, right? There's always a thing that you have to pay the extra thing for to get the extra thing. You know, it's around photos. We know that. But with watches, there's always something that they kind of add in when they announce the watch. So you're going to be... Exactly. That's the point I was getting at without saying it. You know, look, this isn't just an Apple thing. All companies do this. They find the one metric that makes it look like they're the best in that field, and you can take any metric because they collect stats. And we know Apple loves stats, man. They love their customer sat. You know, they love their customer sat. So watch. It's got the invisible glass stuff, whatever it's called. Oh yeah, the transparencies. It's got transparencies. Yeah, it's watch stuff. Vision OS. Nobody can afford one of these things, and yeah, for the amount of money that people have paid and the amount of updates that you got for it, it's very minimal. Look at these. You can put your clock on the pretend wall that you're sitting in and the pretend room you're sitting in. You can like take photos and make them 3D. And look, they've made an all-new persona for your phone calls where people still look uncanny valley and fucking weird. So that's cool. And now look at this. For those of you who are just got money to piss at the wall, do you think there's anyone like this in the world? The happy couple sitting there completely blocked off from each other with their fucking goggles on, staring at the nothing, telling each other sweet nothings through their fucking silly goggles. Fucking how much money does this family earn? You know? Wow. So this thing's been a disaster. It's not very good. You know, it's a lot of money to buy a thing. They introduced, I love this, a Logitech mouse for it. Not even an Apple branded mouse. And PlayStation VR2 Sense controllers. Man, they're even using other companies' shit to drive the experience. That's very strange. Right, let's get down to the last thing. If I can find it. And it is the audio stuff. I don't know where it is. I'm going to have to find it if they mentioned it. It's somewhere here. More elegant apps. Audio. I can't even remember where I saw it. Maybe we'll just let Pete talk about it. Anyway, what it essentially is they have added the ability to record audio and pick different microphones from within. You know this section over here when you pull down your little thing and you do this? I did it before. And you've got your screen mirroring and all this kind of stuff. You can actually select different microphones. And I don't know where I would find it. It's somewhere in this debaucherous thing. And I didn't really go through all this beforehand. In fact, you think I could probably just play the video and get away with it if I get demonetized? I don't really care. I'm just here to hopefully give you all a laugh and have a bit of fun. So, where was it? It was in iPad OS. Here we go. Let's just play it.
Control over their setup, including the accessories that give them the best quality, like high-end microphones. To help easily specify which microphone to use, we added an audio input selector. It can even be used to choose a different one.
What? An audio input selector? Selector, what is going on? Hang on a minute. Did they actually release something that might be handy for people who actually create things on these fucking devices? Holy shit. What the deal?
For each app. This applies to the web as well. So creators can use their favorite sites, like Alitu, to capture audio with the microphone best suited for the job. Audio can be made even better by blocking ambient sounds while recording. So, we're making voice isolation available no matter what app is being used.
No. No. Why do they have to add voice isolation to everything? Do they not watch StreamYard and see how many people have no idea how to use echo cancellation? Man, echo cancellation, or what the real term is, what you would call mix minus, is confusing for so many fucking people, and they're going to add it into the iPad? No! Here's the thing. They're adding it in here. You know why? They think that people actually do podcasts from their iPads. And that is a fantastic idea in theory. But no. But this is cool. I do.
Voice is clear and crisp. For even more convenience, creators can now record studio quality vocals directly with AirPods, thanks to improved tonal balance and timbre to authentically represent the texture of your voice, making AirPods a great choice for producing content.
Right, so they're basically wanting to sell you AirPods. So let's get down to the realism of what this is. These will work really good with AirPods.
And to make recording from a distance even easier, creators can use AirPods to start and stop video recording with a simple press and hold. We've also made something for all you podcasters out there who record using video calls. Local Capture lets you produce amazing content with high-quality recordings right from iPad. It works with any of your favorite video conferencing apps. Just turn it on in Control Center, and your own local high-quality audio and video are captured on your iPad.
All right, so I'm going to say it for the first time. This is awesome. That is awesome. To be able to do a FaceTime call with somebody and hit that button and be able to record the both of you, and the file automatically gets saved into the Files app afterwards. Decent. That's a decent quality of life thing, because people who are podcasters who do this kind of thing for a living normally will have a setup to be able to do interviews. But there are a good number of people who do travel and have to make their videos travel vlogs from a space, from a hotel where the Wi-Fi is shitty or whatever. And to be able to do this from something like FaceTime is fucking very, very powerful, to be able to pull off an interview, to be able to get an interview with somebody and be able to do it like that and just make the editing simple. That's a winner. I'm down with it. Yes, it does. It records both sides, but I think
Echo cancellation of other
the
participants'
other
audio
person
keeps
gets
your
their
voice front
file
center.
and you get your one,
so you
I
get
think.
a clear recording of your side of the call. Once it's over, everyone who used Local Capture can easily share their own audio and video files, letting you produce an interview or podcast with the clearest recordings gathered from every source. Next, when it's time to edit
We'll
and
hear what he's
export your
got to say.
content, we're making that even easier by enabling background tasks on iPad.
There we go.
With the incredible power of Apple Silicon, iPad can run long-running and computationally heavy tasks in the background.
We know that. We know that stuff. Anyway, well, that's it. That's my coverage. Look, that's a really handy thing. And, don't take what I'm saying too seriously. This stuff's going to be great. Will I be downloading the beta? No, I don't. I'm not. There's no rush. If you need to, go and get it. Yeah, the beta's there. You need a developer account to grab it right now. It's free to become get a developer account. There was a heap of really good updates for developers, because that's what this thing's about after all. That's what it's really about. No hardware was announced. If you're a developer, you're going to be able to integrate a lot of this stuff into your apps, if that is a thing. The preview app is pretty exciting. There's other things in the world to get upset about. So that's the reason I just have a bit of a joke about this. You can get all tongue twisted and tired and angry and all this kind of shit, and you just don't need to, right? This stuff is ridiculous. It's all about the things you create with it and what you get out of it, not what Apple tell you need to use it for. And most of us are already getting full functionality out of these devices to make the incredible stuff that we want to make. Yeah. So have a bit of a laugh. Don't get too sucked into all the nonsense and the drama and people arguing over this shit. There's a whole lot of other bigger problems going on in the world that we should be worried about, like, fascism. Because if fascism keeps going, folks, this will be irrelevant and we won't need to worry about this stuff. Pete Johns is up next. I'm going to dump you right now. Tomorrow we're back. We're taking a look at Rob Jackson's brand new app. It's really cool. I'll dump you over at Pete Johns. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together. We'll see you over at Pete's for his really good coverage of this event. Let's Oge. Bye-bye.